Today I will discuss the chapter semiconductor diode. So in my first part of the electronics, I have already covered what is the basic difference between conductor, insulator, semiconductor. I have already discussed about intrinsic or pure semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor, impure semiconductor. I have already discussed about what is the process of recombination. Firstly, for conductor, insulator, semiconductor, we can differentiate conductor, insulator, semiconductor by using atomic structure. Conductor having conductivity is high, for insulator conductivity is low, and for semiconductor conductivity in between conductor and insulator. We can introduce atomic structure. In atomic structure, outermost shell electron is called valence electron. If you apply sufficient values of external energy, electrons initially it will be excited and ultimately it will comes out from that particular cell having some specific values of kinetic energy, and these type of electrons are called free electron. And these type of electrons are the mobile charge carrier. These can move from one side to another side, and for that reason current will be flowing through the circuit. For conducting circuit, the number of free electrons is more in room temperature or ambient temperature condition, and for insulator the number of free electron is less, and for semiconductor number of free electron is in between conductor and insulator. Next, we are interested about valence band and conduction band. Gap between valence band and conduction band is called forbidden energy gap. For conducting circuit, conducting material, valence band and conduction bands overlapped. For insulator, the gap is more, that means you have to apply more amount of energy for jumping an electron from valence band to conduction band. And for semiconductor, the gap is less. Next, for intrinsic semiconductor, this is pure semiconductor made of silicon and germanium, and for silicon germanium number of covalent bonds are there. If you apply sufficient values of external energy is in the form of thermal energy or electrical energy, the bonds will be broken and electrons which will be emitted from that particular bond. And the deficiency of electron, this is called holes. That means for a particular bond you will get one electron, free electron and one holes. And these are the mobile charge carrier. Electrons is negatively charged and holes is the positively charged carrier which can move from one side to another side, and for that reason current will be flowing to the circuit. To increasing the performance, we are interested about extrinsic type semiconductor. It is maybe P type or N type extrinsic semiconductor. For N type extrinsic semiconductor, you have to add some pentavalent atom, arsenic, phosphorus, and for P type extrinsic semiconductor, you have to add boron, aluminum, some trivalent atom. Now we are interested about semiconductor diode. That means if we connect P and N type semiconductor bar side by side, what will happen? Now I am interested about the chapter semiconductor diode. Semiconductor diode, suppose this is N type bar and this is P type semiconductor bar. For N type semiconductor material, you have to dope some pentavalent atom, that means arsenic or phosphorus. So for N type semiconductor bar, huge number of arsenic atom, one electron minus, so As plus ion. So N type semiconductor bar having huge number of As plus immobile charge carrier. At the same time, for N type semiconductor bar, majority carrier is free electron. So huge number of free electrons are there. And for minority carrier, holes are the minority carrier. So few number of holes are there. So for N type semiconductor bar, As plus immobile ions are there. Huge number of majority carrier, that means free electrons are there, and few number of holes, these are called minority carriers for N type semiconductor bar. And for P type, you have to add boron and aluminum, that means boron or aluminum, that means after getting one electrons, this will be B minus immobile ion. So B minus immobile ions are there. For P type semiconductor bar, majority carriers are holes, so huge number of holes are there. At the same time, and few number of minority carrier electrons are there. So this is N type semiconductor bar and this is P type semiconductor bar. If you connect these two type of semiconductor by side without giving any biasing voltage. So initially these electrons, this is the mobile charge carrier, and these holes, this is also mobile charge carrier. That means this can move from one side to another side, and after few times they will recombine each other, and ultimately they will become neutral. So after few times a layer which will be formed, where there is no mobile charge carrier, only the immobile charge carrier are present there. So this immobile charge carrier form a layer. This layer is called depletion layer. This layer is called depletion layer. The layer which is full of charge particle. So this region is also called space charge region. This region is also called space charge region. Space charge region. This is also called barrier potential. So further, suppose for n-type semiconductor bar, huge number of free electrons are there. This will try to move from this side to this side, but B minus ion, it will repel this free electron. And for p-type semiconductor bar, huge number of holes are there, positive charge carrier is there. Suppose it tries to move from this side to this side, but As plus ion, this will become a barrier. And for that reason, this is called barrier potential. As plus ion repel this positive charge. So this is N and p-type semiconductor bar. But if you want to operate this bar, so you have to bias. You have to bias means you have to connect some biasing source. Suppose you connect negative terminal here and positive terminal here. So this terminal is negative and this terminal is positive. Due to the negative terminal, free electrons, this will be repelled by this negative electrode, and this will move from this side to this side. And for positive electrode, the holes with the positive charge carrier, this will repelled by the positive electrode, and ultimately it will move from this side to this side, and current will be flowing through the circuit. So this is called forward biasing of the semiconductor diode. So forward biasing of semiconductor diode means if you enhance the level of voltage, the number of free electrons as well as number of holes which will try to move from this side to this side and this side to this side, and current flowing through the circuit which will be more. This will be represented by a graph. If we enhance the level of voltage, current level which will be increases. If we enhance the level of voltage, current level will be increased. If we enhance the level of voltage, current level will be increased. That means if you enhance the level of voltage, current flowing through the circuit which will be more, and diode is called on condition. Symbolically, diode can be represented in this form. This voltage is called anode and this terminal is called cathode. But if you connect in reverse condition, that means suppose this is connected with positive terminal and this is connected with the negative terminal. So this will be positive and this will be negative. What will be happening? So due to the positive terminal, electrons will be attracted by this positive terminal. Electrons will be attracted by the positive terminal, as well as holes, these will be attracted by the negative terminal. So current flowing only due to the flow of minority carriers. That means for n-type semiconductor bar, few number of holes are there. These are the minority carriers. And these minority carriers repelled by the positive terminal, and this will move only. And for p-type semiconductor bar, electrons, free electrons is the minority carriers, only this particle will move from this side to this side. And for that reason, a minimum value of current which will be flowing through the circuit, this current is called leakage current, and leakage current due to the flow of only minority carriers. So if you enhance the negative biasing voltage, current flowing through the circuit, this is the current axis. So current which will be very small, but at a particular voltage, this is called reverse breakdown voltage. Reverse breakdown voltage, the current flowing through the circuit which will be more. Why? If you enhance the level of reverse biasing voltage at a particular voltage, due to the electrical field, the semiconductor, huge number of silicon bonds are there. Huge number of silicon bonds are there. These bonds which will be broken due to the thermal energy or electrical energy. So if you apply reverse biasing voltage more and more, the silicon covalent bonds which will be broken, and due to the breaking of the bonds, huge number of electrons and holes will be generated, and this will move from one side to another side, and current flowing through the circuit which will be more. So in reverse bias condition, initially current flowing through the circuit which will be less due to the flow of leakage current, due to the flow of only minority carriers. But if you enhance the level of reverse biasing voltage, at a particular voltage, this voltage is called reverse breakdown voltage, the huge number of covalent bonds which will be broken at a time, and due to the breaking of the bonds, current flowing through the circuit which will be more. So this is called VI characteristics of diode. This is called VI characteristics of diode. So this breakdown can be in two form. Breakdown in two form. First one is called avalanche breakdown, and second one is called Zener breakdown. Avalanche breakdown means you have to apply a minimum values of energy by which huge number of bonds which will be broken at a time. So avalanche means step by step breaking. And Zener breakdown means you have to apply sufficient values of external energy by which huge number of bonds which will be broken at a time. This is called Zener breakdown. So Zener breakdown or avalanche breakdown. By the principle of Zener breakdown, we used a diode. This is called Zener diode. Generally, Zener diode, this will be used for voltage regulation. This is used for voltage regulation. What do you mean by voltage regulation? Voltage regulations means the output voltage which will be constant irrespective of the change of input voltage change. Input voltage may change in different cause. It will change due to the load current. It will change due to the value of the impedance. But if the output voltage is constant, then this is called output voltage is regulated power. And for that reasons we are interested about Zener diode. For Zener diode, the voltage regulations is covered by using Zener diode. Next we are interested about rectifier circuit. Rectifier circuit means by using diode we can design some rectifier circuit. Rectifier circuit means any alternating signal which will be converted some unidirectional wave. Alternating signal, this is the alternating signal. Suppose this is the voltage axis, voltage or current axis. So this is the alternating signal. That means each and every instant of time you will get different values of voltage or current. At a particular time 0, you will get a particular level of voltage is 0. At time suppose t, you will get another values of voltage. At time t1, this value is again 0. At time t2 is again 0. So this is called alternating signal. If you apply this alternating signal across diode means this is anode and this is cathode. We know if anode voltage greater than cathode voltage, the diode is on. If anode voltage less than cathode voltage, diode is off. So 0 to t1 time, the voltage is positive. That means anode voltage greater than cathode voltage. That means diode is on condition. Diode is on condition means the signal, input signal which will transmit it to the output side. But in T1 to T2 time, in time T1 to T2, anode voltage less than cathode voltage. That means diode is off. That means it behaves like a insulator. That means output signal did not pass to the input side. If we connect two diode but in opposite connection, that means this is anode cathode and this is cathode anode. So in first half 0 to T1, for diode 1, anode voltage greater than cathode voltage. That means diode 1 is on but diode 2 is off. So input signal which will be transmitted to the output side. From T1 to T2, anode voltage greater than cathode voltage for diode 2. So diode 2 is on but diode 1 is off. That means this signal is also transmitted to the output side. So this waveform is called unidirectional waveform, and this waveform having some average value, having some ripple factor. If you nullify this ripple content of this wave, you will get perfect DC. You can eliminate the ripple content of this value by introducing the filter circuit. So, from rectifier circuit we will get DC signal to AC signal. Initially by using diode we will get unidirectional waveform. After that by introducing filter circuit we will get perfect or pure DC signal.